The way I French kiss is I have my mouth open slightly, and I don't put my tongue in too far.
While French kissing, I like just touch the very tip of the tongue and then just kind of flick her just a little bit, just so she feels it.
I like to, with my tongue, I like to, I gotta go in and roll around, and I pull out, kind of like a little game of tag, if you will. Then I like to kind of tickle her tongue and bite it and suck it.
Usually I move my tongue like around the other person's tongue or lick their lips.
During a kiss, I kind of like to rub my tongue a little bit along my partner's to get a little bit of a I guess a vibration.
French kissing, when you have the tongues, I like, if I know it's going to be a decent amount of time, which there's nothing better than a really long French kiss, is just to start out with, the light contact, almost like teasing. It's right there, you hang in the balance, and then it's just like the floodgates open. Then it's like, then you sneak in and go, and then the longer it goes, I love starting to play the game of like, I got you, you got to get me, I'm going around here, I'm hiding, so, and then it involves the rest of the mouth, like slide your tongue along the roof, and get them or underneath their tongue, really sensitive under there.
So personally, I like to take the tongue and just suck it into my mouth with a little bit of power there, just to show, hey, I'm the boss.
With my tongue, I usually like to just gently feel his tongue a little bit, but very gently, because it's not something that I don't like to have his tongue completely in my mouth or my tongue completely in his mouth. Just very gentle, touching each other's tongues, kind of rolling a little bit. That's about it, yeah. Sometimes I like to just have our lips so that they're almost like biting each other. That can be kind of a nice way to do it too.
What I like about licking her tongue, about touching her tongue, is that intimacy. That feeling that you two are together, and you're really feeling everything that each of you has, and that feeling goes such a long way. It's so rudimentary, but it's so special.
French kisses should start out slow, with the tongues lightly touching each other. But after that, when you start to really get into it, and you get the hands moving and everything else, it's great to suck the tongue and to bite and to really get into it. I mean, the more activity there is, the hotter it is.
During French kiss, I bite my partner's tongue just a little bit, just so she feels it, and then I quickly remove my teeth and suck on it just so it doesn't hurt anymore.
I like to French kiss by spelling my name out with my tongue. Me and my friends came up with it, and sometimes we try to do the alphabet with our tongue, so it's kind of fun.
My boyfriend and I kind of like to play chase, where we chase each other's tongues around a little bit, kind of like a game. Move the tongues around each other, kind of dancing.
With my tongue, I like to kind of put it back and forth between our mouths, because it's kind of like chasing the tongues, and I feel like I never want it to stop.
What you do is you vary the tongue action. You go slow, fast, hard, soft. You have to play chase with the tongue. You know what I mean, Bridget?
You play chase with your partner's tongue. And this tongue will come forward and it'll bunk into this tongue like this. And this tongue will go forward and it'll hit this tongue like this. And then the tongues will go up and down in a flickering motion. Flicker, flicker, flicker your tongue on your partner's tongue. That is good. Now we're going to show you how to play chase by pushing your partner's tongue. With this tongue we'll push while this one will retract. And then now you come forward on the left here and you push this tongue out.
One trick that I do when I French kiss is I steal my boyfriend's candies out of his mouth, and they taste better that way.
When we kiss, I think it's a lot of fun when you, pass candy back and forth, when I take it from him and everything. But my guy, he just does not like that. He ends up taking the candy from me, and it's not supposed to work like that.
I love it when my partner passes a piece of candy from her mouth to mine. It's just not only getting the flavor of the candy, but getting the flavor of her.
One trick you can do while French kissing is to steal the candy out of your partner's mouth. Notice this girl is having trouble getting it. That's because you're not supposed to let your partner get it. Make it difficult for them. Tease them. You've got to fight for your right to that candy.
A trick that's kind of funny when you're French kissing somebody is, I mean, this is only for more somebody that you're a little closer to. You wouldn't want to do this to a complete stranger. But if they're not expecting it, you can kind of just blow a big gust of air in their mouth and their cheeks blow out like a chipmunk. It's really funny.
I remember the first time I got vacuum kissed, it was weird. All the air just got sucked out of my mouth and my lungs, and I felt like I was like deflating or something.
One trick that I'll use during French kissing is I like to kind of suck the air out of my partner a little bit. That hopefully, you know, it feels good when people do that to me, so that's something that I like to try.
Another great trick is the vacuum kiss. You suck the air out of your partner's mouth and lungs. You can actually deflate them. Look, she's getting deflated. Now he's blowing in and he's inflating her. You treat your partner like a rubber doll. The vacuum kiss.
Well, I like a boy to take his hands and go all over my back like this.
Usually when I'm French kissing someone, I like them to move their hands all over my body, playing with my hair, touching the back of my neck and my arms.
Kissing and French kissing is best done like multitasking. Kissing is one art, and the hands are a very necessary part to pull it off. I really like a guy to move his hands up my arm. The softer and the slower, the better.
During a French kiss, I like it when she caresses my face kind of a little like this, or she goes up like this and she starts pulling down tight right before it starts to hurt.
Well, I like to I like for her to start off kind of gentle, but then I like to get aggressive. I want her to pull me in and kind of squeeze my butt real nice.
When I'm being French kissed, I usually like to have my arms stroked. That's my favorite type of action somebody could do for me, or stroke my back a little bit. Just anything gentle that kind of gives me like a little tingling sensation, or pushing my hair back out of the way, out of my face, makes me feel like he wants to see my face.
Well, when I'm kissing a person, I really love them to use their hands. There are a couple of really sensitive parts. You know, if they touch right here, that's really a turn on. My neck and my ears are also super, super sensitive. One other thing is, you know, right here, you know, right above my butt is a really super sensitive part. And, you know, if they can squeeze me really hard, almost like a corset, when we're French kissing, that's really great.
I like her to pull my hair because it shows that she's really excited about what's going on.
When I snuggle with my boyfriend, I like to pull him close and just hold him in my arms and kiss him.
Usually I like to actually sit on the guy's lap while I'm kissing him, you know, cuddling that way.
I really like to get into the person. Sometimes if we're snuggling, you know, on a couch or something like this, I really like to put my legs around them. I like to kind of get up real close like this. A lot of the time, I love to put my arms around them like this and get, you know, as close as I can.
I love French kissing in the car because people can watch you while you're doing it, and I like when people watch me.
Cars are very intimate places, and it's one of those opportunities where you get to sit right next to each other as opposed to a movie theater or a classroom or wherever else you might get to sit by each other. And so it's great to be pressed right up next to. And there doesn't have to be a whole lot of touching or moving around involved, but just the pressure of having the area from your knee up to your hip up against your boyfriend like that. It's very exciting.
When we kiss in a car, our position is like really tricky sometimes. Like, we'll end up hitting against the steering wheel. Sometimes we'll end up like somehow sitting on the steering wheel, and then, you know, like his butt will sometimes be like rubbed up against the window, and, you know, it's really tricky. We kind of like almost turn upside down.
You really do have to be careful when you're French kissing in a car. sometimes a couple will get in such a convoluted position when they're French kissing that the guy will actually fall out the window.
A French kiss should last until I can't breathe anymore.
On a first date, a French kiss should never last more than 60 seconds.
What about our first date? We French kissed for longer than 2 minutes, I think.
I have never French kissed Dr. Honeycutt.
I think a good French kiss should last about 3 or 4 minutes.
A good French kiss shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't drag out. It should be about 4 or 5 minutes.
A French kiss should last however long it's going good. I mean, the minute it gets intense, maybe you want to carry it on for a little longer. If it gets sloppy, then you just want to kind of cut it out a little bit. But I would say average about 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, I think it should last for at least 4 to 5 minutes, or until she passes out.
A French kiss should last anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes if it's a really intense makeout session.
A French kiss should last, well, hopefully as long as possible. Now, it depends on the situation. In public, you can sneak in a quick French kiss, and like almost like, did their tongues just touch? No. So quick. But then you can, if it's just the two of you, it can seem like go on forever.
Another time I was French kissing somebody, and this was all my fault. I was getting so excited and into it, and all of a sudden I realized I was getting a little bit lightheaded, and I panicked and couldn't figure out what exactly it was I was doing wrong. And again, I didn't want to say anything, but I felt like I was just going to pass out. I could feel my skin turning, blue, or the red, all the blood rushing to my face, and I'd forgotten to breathe through my nose.
Of course, the proper way to kiss is kissing by not breathing through your mouth. You must breathe through your nose. I don't understand why anybody would want to breathe through their mouth when they're kissing. Let me demonstrate on my able assistant, Bridget Fontaine.
No. Well, I think that usually a French kiss should last about, depending, if you know the person really well, it should last about 4 to 5 minutes. If you're just meeting them, a kind of a fleeting kiss at first is a little bit better, just, with a little bit of the tongue. But once you get involved in a relationship, it's great if you can get really, really into it and kind of roll around. And so I like to get more into it, get a little bit more length once I know the person better.
A lot of people wonder, when I'm French kissing, what is my partner thinking? Well, we developed an alpha brainwave reader which allows us to hear the actual thoughts of two people while they're French kissing. Let's listen in.
Oh.
Feels so good.
He's so heavenly.
I love her.
I need him.
I want her.
I want him.
God save
I'm
me. It
so
feels
crazy
so good.
for him.
I'm mad about her.
I love his mouth,
I need her tongue,
his teeth,
her lips,
his arms.
her body.
Oh, God.
Damn.
God, I've never been kissed so long.
I wonder when she's going to stop.
I can hardly breathe.
I'm suffocating.
I'm not going to stop first. He'll think I don't like him.
I've got to keep
There's
this kiss
no
going.
turning back now that I've started.
I'm in for the long haul.
I hope he gets tired
when
soon.
Is she ever going to quit?
This is getting ridiculous.
I have work to do. Give me a break,
Let's
honey.
knock it off already.
I wonder what I'm going to make for dinner.
I need some groceries.
I have to be getting home soon. When is it going
I
to
better break
end?
this off.
I've got to call it quits.
If I
but she'll
stop,
never
I think
forgive me
I'm
if
a
I
wimp.
do. Please stop.
Let up, will you?
I'm begging you to stop.
I wish he'd break off.
Leave me alone.
Let me be. God, he's so darn into it. I'm getting asphyxiated.
God, help me.
Please. Please.
Begging you, help me.
Please.
We're now going to give you advice from boys and girls about what they wish their partners would do. Friends, if you listen to this part of the tape over and over with an open mind and take these suggestions seriously, your partners will say, "How did you learn to kiss like that?"
What I would hope that girls would do is just open their mouths just a little bit more so they can be more of a part of the French kiss. Not just a receiver, but a giver as well.
One thing I wish girls would do when they're French kissing is open their mouth a little bit more and get a little more active into the kiss. It'd make it a lot better.
I wish the guys of America would take things a little bit slower. I know there's something very erotic about sticking tongues in people's mouths, but it's nice to start out a little bit slower and then work into it before you get into all of the heavy-duty stuff.
Just some advice for the boys. It's nice when you kiss and you're actually able to breathe. You didn't lose anything down my throat. You don't need to fish for anything down my throat. So enable me to breathe and your kiss will last a lot longer. I wish boys would just be more gentle and go slower when they French kiss. And on top of that, maybe not slobber as much.
I wish guys would realize that there's nothing back here that they need to get to. The kissing and all of the interesting areas are more up front and in the roof of the mouth and in the lips, and you don't need to gag your date in order to get something out of the French kiss.
I wish boys would once in a while let me lead. Just because they're guys doesn't mean they have to be in control all the time. I'm not saying I'm gonna get a whip or anything, but just let me lead once in a while. Make it more interesting.
One thing I would really like to see would be more French kisses from girls and use their tongue more, because they tend not to. They're really shy and they keep it back. But I'd really like it if they just came out and just gave more French kisses.
I just wish that girls would use their tongues more. I wish girls would be more aggressive with their, with their tongues, really being forceful with it, moving it around in certain ways, really so we feel it. So we can feel that tongue there. It feels good.
If you're still having problems with your French kisses after watching this tape, try therapy. There are some good therapists out there.
Doc, I have a problem. You see, I'm afraid of French kissing.
Why?
Because I was French kissing this guy one time and I almost suffocated. I turned blue and everything. It was horrible.
Oh my goodness. Well, I heard this new therapy. It's called kissing and cuddling.
No.